Okay guys, we're up here in the attic. It was a tough trip. This is not much room up here, but there's numerous things we want to look at while we're up here, and I see a few things going on up in this attic. Number one, if you look around, it needs to be re-insulated. There's hardly any insulation in this whole home, right? You can see all these bare spots, and back here, this home is in severe need of some, new insulation. So obviously that'll be pointed out. If you're looking straight ahead here, electrically, all these junction boxes where they tied all this in, all should have covers on it. How this is all not properly spliced in, there's a ceiling fan right here, or a vent fan, exposed wire over here. All that needs to be, I'd have an electrician come out here, and recommend I have an electrician come out here and tidy this up, make it a bit safer. And then also, if you look at all the ductwork, so you can see right here the ductwork is separated to that vent. And the insulation around this ductwork is all deteriorated in really bad shape. I would have this fully evaluated by HVAC professional, because it's going to need some work. You definitely don't want it separated there. It's blowing hot air. It's not going where it needs to go. It's just going right in the attic, or cold air. Separated over here. So there's numerous issues up here as I'm looking around. As you can see, it's tough for us sometimes. We can't crawl all the way through some of these low spaces, but we do, we do the best we can. All the guys will give it their best effort, but fortunately for us, we can see a lot of the deficiencies. It's right inside the hatch here. But anyway, these are just some of the things that we look for. We're looking at the condition of the trusses. Nothing's been cut, that shouldn't have been, and there's no evidence of fire. Believe it or not, we had a house a couple weeks ago that was all char black inside. They never reported that it had a previous fire in the house, but it was very evident up in the attic. Kind of things we look for. But anyway, this is luckily it's not too hot. Usually in the summer it's about 145 degrees up here. We're winter, so it's not too bad. You can almost take a nap up here. But anyway, great. This was a great example to show you guys some of the things we can see when we're in an attic. All right, folks, here we are inside the crawl space, our favorite place to go. This one's actually not that bad. I actually have headroom here. And what we're looking for under here is, of course, we're looking at the structure, the foundation. Do we see any excessive cracking or buckling or bowing of the foundation? What's the support beams look like in this case? There's plenty of them. We're looking at any insulation they got here. We're looking at the plumbing that's under here, okay, which is most of it. And if there is wiring, we would want us to look at that as well. But as you can see, as I'm shining around, we're looking at the floors. Like in this case, they don't have the proper vapor barrier put down. As I'm looking at here, they've redone some of the main sewer lines, getting a lot of condensation on these lines. Again, we can look over here. They tied into the old cast iron. You want to make sure we're not leaking at that union, that rubber gasket. I'm not real confident in that. I'd probably call that out to get further looked at by a plumber. Actually, as I'm looking here, I'm looking for what type of piping is here. We got some old galvanized piping. It appears that some of this may be still active. They have replumbed this house quite a bit, but as you can see, they got new PVC in here. I can't quite tell if this is active or not. But really, insurance companies, and we don't like galvanized piping. Galvanized pipe corrodes from the inside out. So it'll slowly just deteriorate. If you were to look inside this pipe, cut it open, it would just probably be a pinhole for water to go through. So we really don't like galvanized piping. So those are situations that would be called out. Again, I'm looking at this insulation. They got this plastic wrap here. I see a lot of condensation, some of it falling down. I want to call, those kind of concerns out. I don't see any standing water in here, or evidence that they have big problems with water, because we had recent rain, and I would think if they did, it'd be we have some ponding down here. And some of this other condensation I'm seeing, I think is just, could be just humidity, even though it really hasn't. We're in the winter here. So in this case, I do have, a few concerns with some of the plumbing in here that would require some evaluation by a plumber, and maybe this old galvanized pipe get replaced. A lot of insurance companies, like I said earlier, they don't like it, and they'll make you replace it. So again, normally we will crawl all the way through this crawl space, looking at everything that we can get to safely. And again, this one has quite a bit of room. The foundation doesn't look too bad. Again, this is a 1970 something home. I do notice a few issues over here. Maybe it's bowing out a little bit, kind of cracked. But other than that, you know, this is a pretty decent crawl space aside from the older plumbing and stuff issues that should be addressed.